guys, here I am. Sorry it's been a minute. I think it's been 3 weeks since I last posted, and it's been crazy. I've been so busy, and then the holidays and stuff just add to it all. So I'm excited to be here to kind of update and let you know how surgery went, the updates on like what weight loss I've had, and all the things, and like what stage of food I'm at and all of that. So I want to start off by saying that I am so grateful that surgery went as good as it did. I was so nervous, so nervous. I have 4 kids, and I was scared that, you know, something could go wrong during surgery, and you know, the fear of like my children being left without a mom was terrifying. But I was like, I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be fine. Just tried to keep like a positive mind and attitude, just because if I didn't, I'd just go down a rabbit hole and probably talk myself out of it. So yeah, it was good, and it was a good, easy recovery, and I am so grateful for that, because like I said, I have 4 kids, and I need to be a mom, and I need to do the things I need to do, and I've got 2 little ones, 4 and 2, and so they keep me busy, and you know, I need to be as healthy as I can be for them. So like I said, super grateful that everything went good. So let's see, let's start with surgery day. Well, let's start pre-op, because we drove up to Birmingham, which is about 2 hours away. I flew my niece out from Utah, and she was here helping me for about 2 weeks, I want to say. So we drove up, and I had a pre-op appointment, and I just met with my doctor, and we went over, you know, all the things, and he's like, any fears or concerns? And I was just kind of like, oh, scared that I won't wake up from surgery. He's like, you'll be fine, you know, we do this all day, every day, you're gonna be great, you're pretty healthy overall, just, you know, overweight. So I don't really have any other conditions other than, you know, being overweight. So he was like, you're gonna do fine, you're gonna do great. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Oh, and then let me just quickly say before I forget, I'm gonna look down because I wrote it all down, but so 11/10, which is November 10th, I was weighing in at 225 pounds. That was my starting weight. And I went on a 1-week liquid diet. So 11/17, I was down to 213.9. So that was a weight loss of 6.9 in that week. And then 1 week post-op, which was 11/24, I was down to, sorry, I think I said that wrong. So 225 to 213 was an 11.1 loss. And then from the 17th to the 24th of November, that was a 6.9 loss, because that time on the 24th, I weighed in at 207. And then from the 24th to the 1st of December, which was 2 weeks post-op, I lost a total of 3 pounds, bringing my weight to a 204. And then for my 3rd week, which was on the 8th, yesterday, I was at 200 pounds, so weight loss of 4. And then this morning I got on the scale and was at 199.1. So that's a total of 25 pounds lost in the, or 25, 26, in the first, what am I at, 3 weeks? Well, I guess a total of almost a month, including the pre-op diet. It's crazy. Like, I don't even feel like I've lost all that weight. Like, my husband and my kids are like, yeah, we can see it, but I still feel a little, you know, the same. So anyway, back to the story. I was at the whole pre-op. Yeah, so pre-op was good. Like I said, everything was good. Doctor was like, you're gonna do great, everything will be fine. And so we went back to our hotel, and I was just anxious and nervous, and they called me that day with surgery time, and they were like, okay, we need to see you here on the 17th at 11:15 a.m. So we drove up and they just did my intake information, and then they took me back to the room that they were gonna get everything ready, like gave me my gown and all of that stuff. And we went back there, and we were waiting. The nurse came in and she said, okay, well, you know, we're gonna get you hooked up with an IV. And then they put like this little itty bitty patch behind my ear for nausea, I guess. And so we did all of that, and then I was in there probably for a good like 2 hours before I got like rolled away for surgery. I want to say I was like 11 a.m. when I went back. So my niece was in there with me, and she's silly, but she was like, if you want to go, let's go. And I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be my support. Like, don't tell me we can go, because literally I would have like gone. I was so scared, but I was like, no, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. So they gave me my gown, some socks, and a hairnet, and like this big towelette type thing to like scrub my stomach with. And so I got changed into that, and a little after the nurse came back to put like an IV in and all of that, they gave me some liquid Tylenol. That was disgusting. I couldn't even, but she's like, girl, you're gonna struggle because everything after this is liquid. And so I was just like, ugh. So anyway, so the room I was in, it was like a Jack and Jill. So there was like a bathroom with 2 doors, and the neighboring room, the woman had just got out of surgery like not long ago. And so we could hear her just like having a really hard time, like throwing up and just feeling like complete, like, just, it was sad. And so I was just like, oh no, that's gonna be me, that's gonna be me. And so the anesthesiologist came in and explained, you know, what she was gonna do and all of that. And so I was like, okay, it's getting real, it's getting real. And once that all happened, my doctor came in and was like, are you ready? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, it's coming up shortly, like you'll be going back in just a little bit. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So he was saying that like a couple more nurses came back. They were like, okay, we're gonna get you ready to go. And yeah, so they're rolling me away, and I'm literally thinking, I'm choosing to go through this surgery. Like, I'm making a decision to like better myself and like be healthy for my kids. But I'm like, what if I don't make it? What if I die on the table? And I was so scared. Like, I just felt like busting out crying, but I was like, just hold it together, you're gonna be fine. So they roll me back, and then they get me back to the operating room, and I'm like looking around, I see some screens and like all the equipment and some bright lights, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So as I was getting onto the operating table, I asked the anesthesiologist, like, I'm gonna be fine, right? And she's like, you're gonna be fine. I'm like, I'm gonna be okay, right? She was just like, you're gonna do great. And I don't remember a thing after that. Like, I don't remember her saying, hey, you know, you're gonna start to feel sleepy or anything. It was just, I'm gonna be okay, right? And then out. And so I wake up, or I start to wake up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really did it. And I'm awake. I survived. Like, I was so like shocked that I had survived. I was like so sure I was gonna die. So I was just like, oh my gosh. And I felt so gross. Like, I felt like nasty. Like, I'd never had surgery before, so I didn't know what it was like to be under like general anesthesia. So I was like, what is this feeling? Like, you know, when you go to the dentist and like you feel numb and it feels like tingly and cold? That's what my whole body felt like. And so I was like, this is such a weird feeling. And then they wheel me back into my room. She's like, okay. And I was like, I'm gonna throw up. Like, I feel so nauseous. And she's like, yeah, that's normal. Gives me a little like barf bag. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, what did I do? What did I do? And after that, I just remember them coming back in and just being like, hey, you need to like, you know, drink a little bit of water. You need to like here's some ice chips. And I would try to drink water, but it was making me really like nauseous. Like, I don't know if it was like tap water, it just tasted funny, and I couldn't really do it. So I was just like, okay. And I was really tired, really, really, really tired. Like, I was exhausted. So, I don't even know how long it was before we got discharged, but I want to say we left around 2 p.m. No, it was longer, maybe like 3. And by that point, my husband had driven up with my 2 boys. And so we went back to the hotel, and I just felt so tired. Like, any little noise was like bugging me. Every little thing was just like on my nerves. And I was just kind of like, oh, this is gross. And a lot of people talk about gas pain. I didn't experience at all. Like, I didn't experience it at all. The one thing I did feel was just a little bit of nausea with water in the very, very beginning. But like, nausea was the only thing. Like, the gas pain was non-existent. I did feel like some incision pain, like some abdominal pain, but nothing as bad as I was expecting. I was hunching over a little bit just because I didn't want to stand up straight because I was afraid it was going to hurt. But so back at the hotel, they advised me to like walk every 15 minutes and drink every 15 minutes. And then you get this barometer that you like inhale, and you're supposed to reach like a certain level before you let go. That way you're taking nice deep breaths. And so I was doing that. But to be honest, that first day I did little of that because I was sleeping the whole time, like the whole time. And so that was that night, and I slept pretty good. They gave me pain medication, and I was taking that, and they gave me a couple of other different medications, and so I was on those. So then the next day was my post-op, and I went in, and by this point, I think that morning is when I first saw my incisions, because I didn't even dare look. Like, I didn't even want to know what they looked like. And so I looked at them, and I was like, oh my gosh, there was already bruising. And so they did 6 incisions. And so, yeah, I looked at those and was like, whoa. But I mean, it's not too bad. And then I went to my post-op, and the doctor was just like, hey, everything went great. Like, you did great. He's like, the surgery only took like half an hour, and you did great. And so I was just like, oh, okay. And so after that, we drove home, and so it's a 2-hour drive, and they're like, okay, at the hour mark, you have to get off, walk, and kind of get blood flow going. So that's what we did. And then, let's see, once I got home, it was just like a constant thing of like remembering to sip like every little bit, because, you know, you have to stay hydrated. And the first 2 days was a little challenging just because I didn't know how my body would take if I drank too much or too fast. And so I was eating the like sugar-free popsicles and trying to keep track of it that way. And so, but yeah, I mean, I think I did okay. It wasn't until about like the 3rd, 4th day, I feel like I was taking water pretty good. Like, I think it was like a bottle an hour maybe. And so I don't think that's bad. And at this point, I like reached my water intake goals, and I struggle with the protein a little bit because that's a little harder. But I mean, overall, I feel like I'm doing okay. So yeah, recovery was good. I slept on the couch so that I could be propped up like the first week. Just because I didn't want to like use my muscles too much from getting out of bed. And so that was that. And then, yeah, like moving from stage to stage as far as like liquid right after surgery, and then to full liquids a week after, to then soft foods. That's what I'm on now. It's been okay. I feel like by the 2nd week, I was like, oh, I really want something else other than liquids, because I was over it. But at this point, like, I have scrambled eggs, I have avocado, tuna, and stuff like that, and I can tolerate food pretty well. I haven't had any like problems with anything. Like, nothing makes me sick so far, thank goodness. And yeah, a funny story I wanted to tell you. So that little patch they put in behind my ear, the nurse was like, hey, just be careful, don't touch it. If you do, wash your hands, because, you know, it could dilate your eyes or something like that. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I must have like moved my hair or something, and I guess I touched it, and I don't know what happened, but somehow I must have like touched my eye, and I was like, oh, I had my contacts in so I could see clearly. And then all of a sudden, like, I go to look at my phone and it's blurry. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, my contacts are on. I can see clear from, like, you know, in the like distance. And so like my phone was all blurry. And I was like, what is going on? Like, is this a side effect from the surgery? I was like, oh my gosh. So no, I went to the bathroom and I looked at my eyes and my pupils were huge. And I was like, oh, it's just that little patch. So anyway, that went away within, I don't know, a few hours, but that was weird. And so yeah, that's kind of it. Everything's been so good, like so good. They talked about, like, people talked about like not being able to like chug water. And I can't chug water, but I can take sips. Like, I want to show you because I'm pretty proud of that. I'm like, I don't think I could not like do this and be okay, because I love like gulping water. But anyway, this is how much I can take in like one drink. And then I don't push it because I'm like, just in case, you know. And one thing I have noticed is when I eat, once I start to get full, I do burp, and I burp after drinks and stuff, which is kind of weird. But anyway, so I'm going to show you the incisions, and then yeah, so let's see. So this is what they look like. I think this is where they took the stomach out from, because this was the one with like the most bruising. And then this one's not as big, and then that one's tiny. I can't really see that one. And then one on my belly button. But this one was the one that was like the worst looking. So I think that one was where they pulled the stomach from. My nose runs a lot too when I drink or eat, which is kind of weird. So yeah, I am like so excited. Like, I feel so good. We went on a walk. Well, I've been walking a lot, but we went on a certain walk and I was like, I'm not winded like normally. Like, I'm not that winded. So that was so cool. Let's see, is there anything else I want to add? I think I stopped drinking, or taking, I should say, like pain medicine probably like 4 days after surgery. So I am so glad I went through with it and got it done, because I could have easily talked myself out of it. And I'm so happy with the decision that I made, and I am hopeful that these videos can help someone make the decision for themselves too, just to encourage people that, you know, it isn't as bad, or it can be, you know, and people experience things differently. But I just want to share that, you know, it wasn't as bad as I expected. And so yeah, like, I feel that with more and more weight loss that comes with this, it's just gonna be so good. Like, I can already feel my energy levels up. I just overall feel so much better, and that's only 25 pounds down. And I don't say only as if that's not a lot, because that is a lot, and I am ecstatic with that number. But knowing that I'm going to lose more, hopefully, and with how good I feel, I'm just excited. I'm so excited. And so anyway, thanks for watching. I do have some footage from like the day and stuff, and all of that. I just have to find a way to like put it together. I'm not so good with like this whole editing thing, so I just like film and then like post. So I'm gonna have my husband help me with that, and then I'll post that later with some pictures and stuff, and that way you guys can kind of see a little bit of what went on. It's not a lot, but you know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for subscribing. I'm so excited that people are like enjoying my little channel that's coming together. Anyways, we'll see you. Thanks. Bye.